Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Women like men who have similar interests. And to the similar interest thing, I would add women like the men who are good at something that the woman is interested in. Like, I give you a great example, poetry. I remember back in the day, I used to hang out at this spot that, they had poetry every Saturday night. And I used to watch how the women in the audience responded to these poets. Indeed, since there's always talk about height, there was one of the poets there who was 5'2". He was 5'2". Yet, because of his poetry, he was able to get a woman in there and at least a child by that woman, because I saw them hanging out. And I don't remember if they got married or not. But like I said, that was back in the late 90s and everything, right? And the dude, I knew the dude, I knew the dude, and you can't say, oh, he had money. No, he didn't have money or anything. He was a poet. He's highly intelligent. That turned her on, but that's what she was interested in. It's the same principle why women will go for musicians. Now, anybody who's been a musician or something, a lot of them will say, yeah, I knew I'd get the girls this way. In fact, Master Teacher BGS talked about this guy he knew who would just play this guitar around women. And that's how serious it is. That's how serious it is. Understand something with women. I always promote the body game because I say, yeah, they're carnal, but then there's that emotional aspect. And then think about something. What's the root word of relationship? Relate. Now, understand, if the woman is checking out the man, one of the things, she might find him attractive, but then she needs to connect to him. One of the easiest ways to connect is if they have similar interests, or at least he's doing something that she's interested in. It could be anything. I'll use myself for an example. I've got with a significant amount of women who simply like writers. Seriously, I've got with a significant amount of women who like writers. Like, however, I'm not even sure how they might have looked at me physically. But then when they found out I was a writer, they're like, oh, I'm a writer too. My co-parent is a writer. And dealt with a young lady recently who's a writer. And usually when I meet those type of women, boom. Or if they interest, it could be anything. It could be anything. When you have a similar interest as the woman, or you practice it especially if you practice it. Well, let me break it down on two levels. First, if you have a similar interest, you already have a connection right there. See, one of the biggest things is for men is simply talking to a woman like, what you going to talk about? But say y'all both at an art show or something, art festival, y'all both like art. All of a sudden, boom, that's the opening. She's looking, you might see her, you might be walking through, and she's sitting there staring at a picture, and you go up and you happen to like the picture. Because, you can walk up, hey, how you doing? Oh, you like this? Boom. That opens up. That already creates an opening right there for you. That already creates an opening right there. And then you at least got the opening, and then it's just talking to her. Indeed, just being, not even looking at that same picture, just being there. Because I'm going to tell you what, with a lot of women, when they at different events, they always looking. Women are always looking. So you might be just in there chilling, and she see you and say, oh, he's at this art show too. I wonder, what does he like? Boom. Now, of course, you need to have that good bait, body nice and your style right. But shoot, the opening is right there. In fact, she might come up to you. You might be looking at some picture or something, and she come up and try to find out how much you like it or what you really think about it. That's a very key thing. And that's something that you want to deal with. That's something that you want to understand. So that's one level. But then another level, let's use the art show again. What if you're an actual artist? What if That's your show. That's your art. Now, some people might see it as status, and maybe you could put it in there, maybe, but really is like she just likes your art. Like, use the example again. She likes that picture. You're the artist. All of a sudden, you got an automatic in with her. You got an automatic in. And that can be in poetry. That can be in writing, as I said, music. Or, you know what? It could be in anything. Say, for whatever reason, this woman like to talk politics, and you're at some venue or something where you can actually talk politics. I remember when I was still in D.C. and still dealing with that political world, I was at an event where they were just talking about politics. It was specifically, it was for professionals and everything, and some people might call it a bougie affair, but they were talking politics. Well, guess what the opening was? In fact, I remember I was at an event like that, and I met a real good friend. We ain't really hook up. I mean, we cool. We ain't hook up. But mainly because I was I had somebody else at the time. But when me and her are cool to this day. But that's where we met. We met at one of those events, and we had the opening right there. That's a key thing. And that's why, look, fellas, one of the key things you want to do, like there's always talk about a man being on his purpose or his mission. One of the best ways to meet women is just do what you want to do. What is your interest? What is your interest? Understand that. Like, don't get in something just because a woman likes it. Find your interest first. If you're a poet, just go do your poetry. A woman will come at some point. Because then you automatically in there. If you're a musician, just do your thing. If you're an artist, trust me, somebody's going to come. And it'll be somebody who you automatically have an opening right there. Because it'll put it in a colder way. Everything has groupies, everything, and women do that a lot. Now, this don't necessarily mean they're going to be a gold digger, but if you get a woman, say, let's use a poetry, she just happens to like poetry, she might be a poet herself, boom, you in there. Boom, you are in there. So the thing is, you got to do is just follow your own interests. Follow your own interests. And then when you see a woman showing some interest in whatever you do, you already got the opening. Indeed, she might even approach you, depending on where you at. She might even approach you. But that's just a thing. And remember, what it come down to, relate. Y'all got the opening. Y'all can talk about it. Y'all can talk about that art and then expand upon that. Indeed, that's how a lot of men and women meet. They don't always meet on the street or anything like that. Indeed, that's usually, I'm going to tell you what with me. Usually, most of the time when I've met women, it'll be doing my thing. I've met a lot of women just as a writer, just vending. Like it'll be some woman, she say I'm selling some books, they might buy the book, and then I give them my card, they call me. And it's always strictly they interested in the craft. So all I do is just take it a step further. And then, you talk and then you see if you can like vibe on another level. Very simple, very simple. So keep that in mind. So like I said, it's not even so much about the woman's interest as it is you follow your own interest. You follow your own interest. Do your own thing, and then you see which women are vibing with that. Very simple. Very simple. So anyway, that's all I got for today, y'all. Get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.